Now, to talk more about tomorrow's budget speech and what the unions are hoping for, we're now joined by Cosatu spokesperson Zanele Sabela. Good evening, Zanele. Thank you very much for your time. Now, as organised labour, you've consistently called for an end to austerity. What do you hope Budget 3.0 should include?
Well, like you said, we are hoping for an end to austerity budget measures that have actually seen critical roles, actually vacancies in government actually frozen. And as a result, then you see that public services are not what they should be. They're not being delivered. And that obviously has a trickle-down effect in that it then affects businesses and ordinary citizens in terms of the services that they require from government, and sort of like it actually arrests development. And so we would like to see that stop happening. We've heard about, plans to cut teachers' jobs. We've had nurses complain about the workload that they have. We've also seen doctors saying they're unemployed. And so all that needs to government needs to capacitate the state so that it can provide the services that ordinary citizens and businesses need. We could go as far as to say that Eskom still needs further support from government, although, there's been a lot of improvement, but we also need to see not just load shedding become a thing of the past. We also need to see what's this load reduction actually disappear, because in the townships, they still experience this thing called load reduction. We would also like to see support for Transnet. It's been said that Transnet is slowly running out of money, and so obviously Transnet needs support as it tries to reform, because when Transnet works effectively, then it actually supports the sectors like mining, manufacturing and agriculture, which are jobs rich and actually will support the growth in this economy. We also want Metro Rail to start working properly, because it takes workers to and from work at a reasonable price, at a subsidized price, and that also will help. Municipalities, dysfunctional municipalities also, the funding model needs to be looked at, because there's a lot that's happening there, and that needs a closer look.
Now, Zanele, there's a broader call to protect social grants from inflation and investing in public infrastructure. But with a 75 billion rand shortfall, one wonders which spending priorities would then have to suffer.
The 75 billion, I think, was a bit, that 75 billion was over 3 years. What actually was missing was about 31 billion from the VAT that was supposed to be 2%, or was it the 0.5%? Was supposed to bring in 31 billion. But then we know that SARS has actually brought in a 9 billion from the extra that it has collected. And so in terms of that, then that shortfall, as far as we can see, would only be about 23 billion. And now when you consider the total size of the budget, then you'll see that it's not too big a hole and can be closed. And then government actually needs to, SARS has always asked for more resources to make sure that it improves its systems and is able to fill in the gap, in terms of people who are not paying tax, that should be paying taxes. It's been estimated at about 800 billion, and that should come in, and we can trust SARS. I mean, SARS has shown that if you put in competent management, you get rid of corrupt elements, and you improve systems, that things do start to actually work.
All right, Zanele, thank you very much for joining us on the late edition. That is Cosatu Zanele Sabela speaking to us.